Welcome to Epic Echoes, where we inspire you to live your best life. Today, we dive deep into the transformative power of positive thinking. Stay tuned as we explore how your mindset can shape your reality. You'll lose it if you talk about it. The more you try to be everything to everyone, the more you become nothing to yourself. The more you spend clinging to the past, the less likely your future will be any brighter. There will always be someone who can't see your worth. Don't let it be you if you don't separate yourself from your distractions. Your distractions will separate you from your goals. A man who fears rejection is a man who has already rejected himself. Life is like an elevator. On your way up, sometimes you have to stop and let some people off. The moment you stop seeking validation from others is the moment you find true confidence. If you set your goals ridiculously high and it's a failure, you will fail above everyone else's success. You can only change when your mind is stronger than your emotions. A toxic environment is more likely to change you than you change. Music. People will disappoint you, so never put all your trust in anyone. Even if you are on the right track, you'll get run over if you just sit there. Don't lose yourself by tolerating too much from the people you want to keep. You are not rejected, you are redirected to something better. When you stop trying to please everyone, you begin to understand who truly values you for who you are, not for what you can do for them. If you find someone smarter than you, work with them. Do not compete. Avoid people who use their pain as an excuse to hurt you. You grow as much as the amount of truth you're willing to accept about yourself without running away. If you never heal from what hurt you'll bleed on people who didn't cut you. The quickest way to acquire self-confidence is to do exactly what you are afraid to do. When people treat you like they don't care, believe them. When you build in silence, no one knows where to attack. If you know how quickly people forget the dead, you will stop living to impress people. Never take advice from someone who isn't where you want to be. Comfort is the worst addiction and a cheap ticket to depression. People will start hating you when they cannot control you. You are allowed to change the price of access to you, and we are no longer able to change a situation. We are challenged to change ourselves. If you only blame your problems on someone else, don't expect your life to get better. Pain only leaves you when it teaches you something. Don't spend your life dreaming about what you could have been in another place or under different circumstances. Instead, invest your energy in what is right in front of you. Every second you spend comparing your life to someone else's is a second spent wasting Yours be smart enough to ask for advice, but be wise enough to know who to seek it from. We spend our first half learning what not to do and the second half wishing we did more of it. You're never ready for what you have to do. You just do it. That makes you ready. Stop expecting others to give you more respect than the respect you give yourself. Sometimes the hardest part of the journey is simply believing you're worthy of the destination. The secret of change is to focus all your energy not on fighting the old, but on building the new. Never let yourself become completely dependent on anyone. Always be able to support yourself financially, mentally, and physically. Hope is not a strategy. You can't learn to drive in a parked car. To make progress, you need to get behind the wheel and start moving, even if the road ahead is uncertain. Growth is uncomfortable because you've never been here before. Hiding from your problems won't make them disappear. Facing them is the only way to grow. Never tell your problems to anyone, because 80% don't care and 20% are glad you have them. Numbing the pain for a while will make it worse when you finally feel it. Your growth depends on your willingness to keep learning, even when it's boring. Sometimes you have to forget what you want and remember what you deserve. If it's out of your hands, let it out of your mind. The life in front of you is far more important than the life behind you. On a day when you don't come across any problems, you can be sure that you are traveling in the wrong path, ignoring red flags because you want to see the good in people will cost you later. You learn nothing from life if you think you're right all the time. Be careful who you let in your life. People will come and drain the shift out of you, then leave and blame everything on you. The moment you realize that your past mistakes are not chains but lessons, you can begin to craft a future that isn't dictated by your regrets. You must discipline yourself carefully. You must keep the promises you make to yourself and reward yourself so that you can trust and motivate yourself. People give you advice based on their perspective. You cannot be everywhere and have everything. Learn to make the right choices and commit to things that matter most. There's only one thing more precious than our time, and that's who we spend it on. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. The greatest danger for most of us lies not in setting our aim too high and falling short, but in setting our aim too low and achieving our mark. Keep your distance from people who will never admit they are wrong and always try to make you feel like it's all your fault. There's no shame in saying I don't know. Nobody has all the answers. Pretending to be perfect doesn't make you Perfect, you learn a lot about people. When they don't get what they want. If you can't say no, then your yes means nothing. True success doesn't depend on seeking validation from others. It stems from seizing opportunities, proving what you're capable of, and accomplishing your goals. Despite challenges, stop being so available to people who are only there for you when it's convenient for them. It's not the load that breaks you down, but how you carry it. Dreams come in sizes that are too big, so we can grow into them. Sometimes painful things can teach us lessons that we didn't think we needed to know. Being true to yourself may lead to loneliness, but it's worth it. The energy we spend to complain can be redirected to act for change. When we take responsibility, we get out of the victim mode and move on. What you want requires consistency and discipline. Don't blame people for disappointing you. Blame yourself for expecting too much from them. Luck comes to those who work hard. Good things do not come to those who wait. There can be no progress, no achievement, without sacrifice, and a man's worldly success will be in the measure that he sacrifices. You are the only person you can control unless you try to do something beyond what you have already mastered. You will never grow. The easiest way to destroy your self-confidence is to constantly break the promises you make to yourself. Mistakes won't hold you back. Not learning from them will. Patience is when you're supposed to be mad, but you choose to understand. Worrying about something isn't going to change the outcome. It's only going to waste time and energy that could be better used somewhere else. Just because the boat rocks doesn't mean it's time to jump overboard. True growth is rarely accompanied by joy and celebration. First, you choose a partner on the basis of their looks and enjoy until you realize that your kids will not be raised by their looks, but by their values. Who you are becoming is more important than who you've been. Don't be afraid to go it alone. The road to success is rarely crowded. The second you feel like you are hanging on by a thread, let go. You shouldn't be holding on to something that makes you feel that way in the first place. Going back to your ex is like having a shower and putting dirty underwear back on. Train yourself to take nothing personally to save yourself from 99% of mental problems. It's normal to feel bad after making the right decision. Never make someone a priority who only makes you an option. Every time you lie, you are creating problems that you will have to deal with in the future. The chief trick to making good mistakes is not to hide them, especially not from yourself. No one sees how much you do for them. They only see what you don't do. The truth is, everyone is going to hurt You just have to find the ones worth suffering. For you can start your life over anytime you want. You can start being the person you actually want to be today, right? Now you will never be 100% sure about a decision, but always make a decision, because it's better to go back and fix it than to never make it at all. Life gives you lots of chances to screw up, which means you have just as many chances to get it right. Don't be angry with people who don't have the capacity to change. Recognizing that you are not where you want to be is a starting point to begin changing your life. The quickest way to improve your life is to stop waiting for motivation and start building discipline. You define yourself to others by the behavior that you tolerate. The people who ask the most from you are the people who do the least for you. Accepting your flaws is not about resignation, but about finding the courage to improve. You can't be happy with someone else if you aren't happy with yourself. Your wound is not your fault, but your healing is your responsibility. Not everything in your brain needs to come out of your mouth. The short-term pain of accepting the truth is much better than the long-term pain of believing and illusion. Nothing is scarier than avoiding your full potential. If you do not make yourself indispensable, you will be unemployed soon. Don't hang on to your mistakes just because you spend a lot of time making them. Fix your body before you fix anything else. Having a weak body is a reflection of your broken mind. True happiness comes from aligning your actions with your values, not from external approval. Never hurt others to heal yourself. Never hurt yourself to heal others. When your intentions are pure, you don't lose people, they lose you. Life has a way of working out even when it seems impossible. You cannot have everything. You always exchange something for something. You only get one body, take care of it. You'll have it all your life, and while it is incredibly resilient, it can only give you what you put in life. It's important to know when to stop arguing with people and simply let them be wrong. If you don't design your own life plan, chances are you'll fall into someone else's plan, and what they have planned for you is not much. Don't do anything you feel you'd have to lie about later. Say no to your desire to be perfect. Otherwise, you won't be able to improve. Further, choosing comfort over discomfort does not lead to a comfortable life. Share your progress, not your goals, and you'll always be motivated. Treat yourself like someone you are responsible for helping. The highest reward for one's toil is not what one gets for it, but what one becomes by it. Everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth. You will have to make very practical decisions about what you want from life and what you're willing to give up, and if you don't make them, then life will make them for you. Overthinking ruins you. It ruins the situation, twists things around, makes you worry about futile questions, and makes everything much worse than it actually is. If you stay too long in a bad situation, you'll forget it's bad and get comfortable while the best years of your life just pass you by. Sometimes their behavior is your answer. Why let go of yesterday? Because yesterday has already let go of you. The most valuable things in life compound over a long period of time. Sometimes there's no right decision to make. In those cases, first you make a decision and then you work to make it right by doing what everyone else does. You guarantee average results. Our suffering is caused by holding on to how things might have been, should have been, could have been. The more you sweat in peace, the less you bleed in battle. The way you talk to yourself sets the tone for how others will treat you. People treating you poorly is a reflection on them, not you. Never overlook contempt. When someone views you with contempt and talks to you like you're beneath them, they will likely do you harm, whether relationally, socially, or physically. Remove that person from your life. You can only lose what you cling to. You should never sacrifice what you could be for what you are. When you get a different vantage point, it changes your perspective. It allows us to see things that maybe we should have seen a long time ago. Maybe you are not healing because you are trying to be who you were before. That person doesn't exist anymore because there's a new you trying to be born. Breathe life into that person. Keep your standards high and do not settle for something because it is available. Some lessons have to be learned twice. You were born with 2 ears and 1 mouth. Use them in that proportion. Watch your thoughts, for they become words. Watch your words, for they become actions. Watch your actions, for they become habits. Watch your habits, for they become your character. Failure shows us the way by showing us what isn't the way. Don't worry about what people say behind your back. They are the people who are always finding faults in your life instead of fixing the faults in their own life. Anything that you start to take a relaxed attitude towards stops controlling you. There are things in life we don't want to happen but have to accept. Things we don't want to know but have to learn. And people we can't live without but have to let go. People are not always who they seem to be. Even knowing someone for a long time can and will turn on you. Never complain of that of which it is at all times in your power to rid yourself. Stay away from people who think your growth is competition. You cannot be lonely if you like the person you're alone with. Changes happen when we go against everything we're used to doing. Problems are the price you pay for progress. You know who your true friends are. Look for the ones who say good things behind your back and bad things to your face. Learn to sit back and observe. Not everything needs a reaction. Do not discuss your past with anyone because only you know its true story and significance. Others may not understand or even use it against you. Life becomes much easier when you learn to accept apologies you never received. The more responsibility you take, the more you empower yourself to do something. It's never too late to do the thing you've always wanted to do. Don't let naysayers discourage you because they may be projecting their own insecurities. It's okay to outgrow people, places, and mindsets that no longer serve your growth. You can win a lot in life just by being the last one to give up. Expect little from people, expect a lot from yourself. Every decision you make is a step toward who you will become. Sometimes painful things can teach us lessons that we didn't think we needed to. No, you're not defined by your past. You're prepared by it. You're stronger and more experienced, and you have greater confidence. People know your worth. They just hope you don't base your decisions on the advice of those who don't have to deal with the results. Sometimes good things fall apart so better things can fall together. Accept people as they are, but place people where they belong. For better or worse, the way things are now is not how they will always be. Never confuse people who are always around you with people who are always there for you. You can't reach for what's in front of you until you let go of what's behind you. It's your road and yours alone. Others may walk it with you, but no one can walk it for you. Don't try to save a person who isn't actively trying to save them. They just want someone to pull down with them and often don't really want to be saved. Whatever you do between 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. pays the bills, and what you do between 5 p.m. and midnight builds your legacy. Be careful about the stories you're telling yourself about your current circumstances. A head full of negative thoughts has no space for positive ones. The people who say you can't and you won't are usually the ones scared that you will. People ask what you do for a living so they can calculate the level of respect to give you. Your life right now is a result of the choices you made this past year. Your life a year from now will be a result of the new choices you start to make. Choosing comfort over discomfort does not lead to a comfortable life. Stay close to the people who want more for you, not more from you. Sometimes the hardest things in life are the things that we need to hear. The most experience is the hardest kind of teacher. It gives you the test first and the lesson afterward. There comes a time in your life when you have to choose to turn the page, write another book, or simply close It's solving a problem without solving its root cause is like taking a step forward and then one back. How to treat your body before you are 45 is how your body will treat you after you are 45. The wrong people always teach you the right life lessons. They always say time changes things, but you actually have to change them yourself. Once you realize the power of your presence, you won't be just anywhere. You will never hear someone who's doing better than you speak negatively about you if you don't separate yourself from your distractions. Your distractions will separate you from your goals and the life you want. If you can find paths without any obstacles, it probably leads nowhere. One of the fastest ways to improve your life is to simply do what you said you were going to do. There is only one thing more painful than learning from experience, and that is not learning from experience. You don't get what you wish for, you get what you work for. You are always stronger and more resourceful than you give yourself credit for. 2 things to remember in life: take care of your thoughts when you are alone, and take care of your words when you're with people. People only change for themselves. You won't have to force it and break yourself apart to help them. If it can be fixed, why are you complaining? If it can't be fixed, why are you complaining? Everyone wants to skip the struggle, not knowing that that's where character is built. Failure is the way life teaches us its rules, in particular the ones we don't want to learn. It never gets easy, but it gets easier by failing to prepare. You are preparing to fail. Some people are investments and some people are bills. Know the difference. Every adversity, every failure, and every heartache carries with it the seed of an equivalent or greater benefit. You can choose the game you play, but not its rules. We cannot live happily wishing the world followed the rules we are comfortable with. Stop being so alienable to people who are only there for you when it's convenient for them. You don't notice your progress in life because you are always raising the bar. The human capacity for burden is like bamboo, far more flexible than you'd ever believe at first glance. When you're driving through the darkness, you can only see as far as the headlights shine, but you can make the whole trip that way. There is a healthy amount of distrust to have in everyone. Nobody's intentions are truly clear even after being stated. You aren't crazy, you're intelligent. The trouble is you think you have time. Our wounds are often the openings into the best and most beautiful part of us. If they don't know you personally, don't take it personally. Recognizing that you are not where you want to be is a starting point to begin changing your Life if you wouldn't take advice from. Then why would you take? Criticism sometimes the smallest step in the right direction ends up being the biggest step of your life if you have more than 3 priorities you have none. Smart people learn from everything and everyone average people from their experiences and stupid people already have all the answers. Don't tell your friend what you're in. These lessons are your guide to a life of fulfillment and resilience. Which one resonates with you the most? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us here at Epic Echoes as we uncover more ways to inspire your journey. Together, let's build a life worth living.